The text came through at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Staying at Stephen's place for the week, don't be insecure about it. I stared at my phone in the dim light of our bedroom, my bedroom now, I supposed, and felt something cold and sharp settle in my chest. Not anger, not yet, something closer to clarity. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My wife Rebecca had been working late for months. Stephen, her supposed best friend since college, had been around for every milestone, every argument, every moment she needed someone to really understand her. And now this text, dripping with that special kind of condescension that made my teeth ache. I typed back, "Enjoy yourself." Then I got to work. The thing about being an IT repairman is that people underestimate you. They see the work boots, the calloused hands, the guy who fixes their router, and they assume you're simple. Rebecca certainly did. She'd stopped hiding her laptop screen around me years ago, stopped clearing her browser history, stopped caring if I saw the little hearts she sent to Stephen's messages at 2 a.m. She thought I was too dumb to notice, too comfortable, too in love. She was wrong about all three. I started in the bedroom at midnight. Her clothes went into boxes. The designer dresses her corporate salary bought, the shoes that cost more than my monthly truck payment, the lingerie I hadn't seen her wear in over a year. I folded everything neatly. I'm not a monster. I'm just thorough. By 3 a.m., I'd filled 12 boxes. I stacked them in the living room, each one labeled in thick black marker. Rebecca's stuff. The apartment looked bigger without her things, cleaner, like a weight had been lifted. At 4 a.m., I called the post office automated system and rerouted her mail. New address, her parents' house in Connecticut. Gerald and Martha were going to love that. They'd always looked at me like I was something stuck to their shoe. The blue-collar nobody who trapped their ambitious daughter. Wait until they started receiving her credit card bills. And the other mail. Because I'd found it, you see. The shared tablet we used for recipes and shopping lists. Rebecca had been using it for other things. Photos, dozens of them. Her in lingerie I'd never seen. Her in Stephen's apartment. I recognized his pretentious modern art in the background. Her with messages like, "Can't wait for Tuesday," and "He's working late again, come over." I backed everything up to 3 separate drives. Insurance. At 5 a.m., I changed all the passwords. Wi-Fi, streaming services, the smart home system, everything. I made the new Wi-Fi network name Stephen and Rebecca Forever, just to see if any neighbors would notice. Then I went to the gym. Terry was already there, pounding the heavy bag with the methodical rhythm of a man who'd done it 10,000 times before. Ex-middleweight, ex-Marine, current owner of the most honest face I'd ever seen on a man who could break you in half. "You look like hell," he said, not breaking his rhythm. Thud, thud, thud. "Rebecca's staying at Stephen's for a week." Thud, thud, thud. "The best friend, Stephen?" "That's the one." Terry stopped punching, wiped his face with a towel, looked at me with those sharp brown eyes that missed nothing. "What are you going to do?" "Nothing, stupid." "That's not an answer. It's the only answer I've got right now." He nodded slowly. "You want to hit something, hit the bag, not the guy. Save the real hits for later." I spent 2 hours on the bag. My knuckles bled through the wraps. It felt good. By the time I got home, the sun was up, and I had 17 missed calls from Rebecca's mother. I deleted them all, made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, the one Rebecca had insisted we buy from some overpriced boutique in Brooklyn, and wrote a note on her favorite stationery. "If you need a place to stay, I hear Stephen's is available. The Wi-Fi password here has changed. You understand." I left it on the counter, propped against the coffee maker she'd never see again. Then I went to work. Fixed Mrs. Patterson's router on Elm Street. Upgraded the network at the corner store, helped old Mr. Chen set up his new tablet. Normal day, normal life. Except I kept checking my phone. Rebecca didn't call until Wednesday night. "What the hell did you do?" Her voice was tight, controlled. The voice she used in meetings when someone challenged her. "I don't know what you mean." "The boxes, the mail. My mother called me screaming about—" She stopped. I could hear her breathing. "You went through my things." "They're your things," I said calmly. "I just organized them. Thought you might need them at Stephen's?" Silence. Long enough that I thought she might have hung up. "We need to talk." "We are talking. In person. I'm coming home." "It's not really your home anymore, is it?" I hung up. She showed up Thursday morning with Stephen in tow. That was her first mistake. I was on my second cup of coffee, reading the news on my phone, when they came through the door. She still had her key, though that was about to change. Rebecca looked tired, her makeup not quite perfect, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail that would have looked cute if I didn't know where she'd been sleeping. Stephen looked exactly like Stephen always looked, expensive haircut, designer stubble, the kind of casual clothes that cost more than my entire wardrobe. Trust fund baby, playing at being bohemian. "Mike," Rebecca said, trying for authoritative and landing somewhere around desperate. "We need to talk about this like adults." "I agree. Adults don't cheat on their spouses and then act surprised when there are consequences." Stephen stepped forward. "Hey, man, I think you're misunderstanding the situation." "Shut up, Stephen." I didn't raise my voice, didn't move from my chair, just looked at him until he stopped talking. "You don't get to speak in my apartment." "It's our apartment," Rebecca said. "My name is on the lease, too." "Then you should probably pay your half of the rent." "Oh, wait." I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, turned it toward her. "I canceled the joint account, moved everything to a new one. You're welcome to pay your half directly to the landlord." Her face went white. "You can't do that." "I did do that. Past tense. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you're not spending your nights at someone else's apartment." "This is insane," Stephen said, finding his voice again. "You're acting like a psycho." I stood up then, slowly. I'm not a big guy, 5'10", maybe 170 soaking wet. But I spent 3 years boxing amateur before I blew out my shoulder, and I know how to make myself look bigger when I need to. Stephen took a step back. "You want to call me names in my home?" I asked quietly. "The home where my wife was living while she was sending you naked pictures, while you two were planning your little love nest?" Rebecca's hand flew to her mouth. "How did you—" "The tablet, Rebecca, the one we shared. You really should have been more careful." I walked to the kitchen counter, picked up a manila envelope, and tossed it on the coffee table between us. It landed with a heavy thud. "That's every text, every photo, every hotel receipt I could find. There's a copy in a safe deposit box, there's a copy with my lawyer, and there's a copy that will go to your boss, your parents, and everyone in your contact list if either of you try anything stupid." Stephen's face had gone from tan to gray. "You're blackmailing us?" "No, I'm protecting myself. There's a difference." I looked at Rebecca. "Your stuff is in those boxes. Take them. Take your key. Get out of my apartment." "Mike, please." She was crying now, mascara running. "Can we just talk about this? Without him here?" "No. I made a mistake. I was confused. The marriage has been hard, and Stephen was there, and I just—" "You just what? Accidentally fell on his dick? Multiple times? In multiple locations?" I laughed, and it sounded harsh even to my ears. "Save it for someone who cares." They left, took the boxes. Rebecca cried. Stephen looked like he wanted to hit me, but was too smart to try. I changed the locks as soon as the door closed behind them. Then I went to work again. Because that's what you do. You keep moving. But I wasn't done. Not even close. Clara worked with Rebecca at the same corporate firm, some marketing company with an open floor plan and a kombucha bar. They'd been friends, or what passed for friends in that world. Lunch buddies, happy hour companions. The kind of friendship that was really just networking with feelings. I'd met Clara a few times at company events. She was sharp, funny, and had the kind of smile that made you think she was laughing at a joke you weren't in on. Because she usually was. I called her Friday afternoon. "Mike?" She sounded surprised. "Is everything okay? Rebecca's been kind of weird all week." "That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. You got time for coffee?" We met at the place near her office, one of those aggressively hip cafes where the baristas had better hair than me and the espresso cost $8. Clara showed up in her work clothes, blazer, heels, the armor of the corporate warrior. "So," she said, settling into her chair with a latte that looked like modern art. "What's going on?" I told her. Not everything, just enough. Rebecca and Stephen, the affair, the photos, the week-long visit. Clara's face cycled through surprise, anger, and something else I couldn't quite read. "That son of a bitch," she said finally. "Stephen, I mean. Rebecca, too, but especially Stephen." "You know him?" "Everyone knows Stephen. He's been sniffing around the office for years, playing the supportive best friend while hitting on every woman Rebecca works with." She stirred her latte viciously. "He tried it with me last year at the Christmas party. I shut him down hard." "Why didn't you tell Rebecca?" "I did. She said I was imagining things, that Stephen wasn't like that I was being jealous." Clara's eyes were bright with old anger. Guess she changed her tune. "I need your help," I said. She leaned forward. "I'm listening." The plan was simple. Clara would be my eyes and ears in Rebecca's world. She'd feed me information, who knew what, who was talking, what Rebecca was saying about the separation. In return, I'd make sure certain information found its way to certain people, like Rebecca's boss, David. David was old school, married 30 years, big on company values and professional integrity. He'd promoted Rebecca twice in 3 years, saw her as a rising star. On Monday, David received an anonymous coffee delivery at his desk. Expensive stuff, the kind Rebecca always ordered. The cup had a note. From Stephen, with love. That same day, Stephen's girlfriend, yeah, he had a girlfriend, because of course he did, received a text from an unknown number, just a screenshot. Stephen and Rebecca at a restaurant, his hand on her thigh, her head on his shoulder. Timestamp. 2 weeks ago. By Tuesday, the office was buzzing. Clara kept me updated via text. David called Rebecca into his office. She came out looking like she'd seen a ghost. Stephen's girlfriend showed up at lunch. Huge scene in the lobby. Security had to escort her out. Everyone's talking. Rebecca's avoiding her desk. I felt nothing. Or maybe I felt everything and had just stopped caring about the difference. Wednesday night, I was at the gym when Stephen found me. He came in like he owned the place, all swagger and expensive athleisure wear that had never seen a real workout. Terry saw him first, caught my eye, raised an eyebrow. I shook my head slightly. Not here, not yet. But Stephen didn't wait. He walked right up to the heavy bag I was working, got in my space, close enough that I could smell his cologne. "We need to talk," he said. "No, we don't. You're ruining her life. Rebecca's about to lose her job because of your little stunt." "My stunt?" I stopped punching, turned to face him. "I'm not the one who was sleeping with someone else's wife." "It's not like that. You don't understand what we have. I understand that you're a coward who hides behind money and good looks and thinks consequences are for other people." I stepped closer. "But here's the thing, Stephen. I'm not other people. Is that a threat?" "It's a promise." He shoved me. Not hard, but enough. Enough that Terry started moving. Enough that the other guys in the gym stopped what they were doing. Enough that I had permission. I didn't hit him. Hitting him would be stupid. Instead, I smiled. "You should leave," I said quietly. "Before you do something else you'll regret." He left. But not before saying, loud enough for everyone to hear, "You're a psycho. Rebecca was right about you." I went back to the bag. Thud, thud, thud. Terry appeared at my elbow. "You okay?" "Better than okay." "What are you planning?" "Nothing illegal." "That's not what I asked." I looked at him. "Would you believe me if I said I was improvising?" "Not for a second." "Then it's probably better if you don't know." That night, I sat in my truck outside Stephen's building. Fancy high-rise in the gentrified part of town, the kind of place with a doorman and a gym nobody used and a rooftop bar where people paid $20 for cocktails. I waited until Stephen came out, heading to some bar, probably, or another conquest. Then I walked to his car, sleek black BMW, the kind that screamed, "I have money and want you to know it." I didn't slash his tires. I didn't key the paint. I did something better. I took out my phone and recorded a video. Me standing next to his car. Clear shot of the license plate. Clear shot of my face. "Hey, Stephen," I said to the camera. "Remember when you shoved me at the gym? Remember when you threatened me? I remember. I remember everything. Sleep tight." I sent the video to his phone. Then I went home. He called me 17 times that night. I didn't answer. I slept like a baby. Rebecca tried to come back the following week. Showed up at my door, our door, on a Tuesday evening, looking smaller somehow. Vulnerable. The way she used to look when we first met. Before the promotions and the power suits and the slow death of everything we'd been. "Can I come in?" she asked. I almost said no. Almost closed the door in her face, but I was curious. 5 minutes, I said. She sat on the couch, the one we'd picked out together at IKEA, back when we were young and broke and happy. Or at least I'd been happy. Maybe she'd been planning her exit even then. "I'm sorry," she said, "for everything. For Stephen, for lying, for making you feel like you weren't enough." "I never felt like I wasn't enough," I said. "That was your story, not mine. I want to fix this. We can go to counseling. We can start over. I'll cut off contact with Stephen completely." "You should have cut off contact with Stephen when you married me." "Mike, please." "Did you love him?" I asked. "When you were with him, did you think about me at all?" She looked away. That was answer enough. I want you to leave now, I said. This is still my apartment, too. I have rights. Then exercise them. Take me to court, sue me. Do whatever you need to do. I stood up, walked to the door, opened it. But right now, I want you to leave. She didn't move. You've changed. You're not the man I married. You're right, I said. I'm better. She left. But before she did, she turned back, and I saw something in her face I'd never seen before, fear. What are you going to do? She asked. I don't know yet, I lied. I guess you'll find out. The corporate event was Clara's idea. Rebecca's company is having their annual gala next Friday, she said over coffee. Big fancy thing at the Riverside Hotel. Partners, clients, everyone who's anyone. Rebecca will be there. Stephen will probably be there too, since he's been hanging around like a bad smell. And you should come, as my +1. I looked at her, really looked at her. Why are you helping me? Clara was quiet for a moment, stirred her coffee. When she spoke, her voice was different, harder. Stephen didn't just hit on me at the Christmas party. He cornered me in the coat room, put his hands on me. When I pushed him away, he laughed and said I should be flattered, that I should be grateful someone like him was interested in someone like me. Did you report him? To who? His best friend? The woman who'd already chosen him over everyone else? She laughed bitterly. I tried to warn Rebecca. She said I was lying, said I was trying to break up their friendship because I was jealous. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Help me make them pay. So I got a suit. Nothing fancy. I'm still a guy who fixes routers for a living, but clean, pressed, respectable. Terry helped me with the tie. You sure about this? He asked. No. Good. That means you're thinking clearly. The Riverside Hotel was exactly what I expected. Crystal chandeliers, waiters in bow ties, the kind of people who said things like synergy and paradigm shift without irony. Clara looked stunning in a black dress that probably cost more than my truck payment. I felt like an imposter. Until I saw Rebecca. She was holding court near the bar, surrounded by colleagues, laughing at something someone said. She looked beautiful. She always looked beautiful. That was never the problem. Stephen was there too, lurking at the edges of her circle like a shark. When he saw me, his face went dark. This is going to be fun, Clara murmured. We worked the room for an hour. Clara introduced me to people, made small talk, played the game. I smiled and nodded, and watched Rebecca watch me. She looked confused, then angry, then scared. At 9 p.m., the CEO, a silver-haired guy named Richard, who looked like he'd been cast by Central Casting, got up to make a speech, thanked everyone for their hard work, talked about growth and opportunity and other corporate nonsense. When he finished, he asked if anyone else wanted to say a few words. Clara squeezed my hand. Your turn. I stood up, walked to the microphone. The room got quiet. Hi, I said. Most of you don't know me. I'm Mike. I'm Rebecca's husband. Or I was. It's complicated. Rebecca's face had gone white. Stephen was moving toward the front, but Clara had positioned herself to block him. Smart woman. I just wanted to say congratulations to Rebecca on her success, I continued. She's worked really hard to get where she is. Long hours, late nights, lots of dedication. Sometimes she was so dedicated she'd spend entire weeks at other people's apartments. Murmurs in the crowd. Rebecca stood up, but her boss, David, put a hand on her shoulder, pushed her back down. And I wanted to thank Stephen, I said, looking right at him. Rebecca's best friend. For being there for her when I couldn't be. For supporting her. For helping her explore new opportunities. Really hands-on mentorship, from what I understand. That's enough, David said, but he didn't sound angry. He sounded interested. You're right, I said. It is enough. I just thought everyone should know what kind of people they're working with. The kind who lie, who cheat, who destroy other people's lives and then act like victims when there are consequences. I walked away from the microphone. The room was dead silent. Clara was grinning like a wolf. We left before security could escort us out. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Clara texted me updates. David fired Rebecca this morning, violation of company ethics policy. Stephen's been banned from the building. Apparently he lied about his consulting contract. Rebecca's desk was cleaned out by security. She tried to argue. They literally escorted her out. I should have felt good, victorious. Instead, I just felt tired. But I wasn't done yet. The cabin had been in my family for 3 generations. Small place up in the mountains, 2 hours north of the city. My grandfather built it with his own hands. My father taught me to fish there. I'd proposed to Rebecca there, on the dock, with the sunset turning the lake gold, She'd said yes. She'd meant it, I think, or maybe I just wanted to believe she had. I called her on a Thursday. "We need to talk," I said. "Face to face. No lawyers, no friends, just us." "Why should I trust you?" "Because I have something you want." "What?" "The photos, the texts, everything. I'll delete it all. We can end this clean." She was quiet for a long time. "Where?" "The cabin, Saturday, noon." "I'm not going up there alone with you." "Bring Stephen if it makes you feel safer. I don't care anymore." She hung up, but I knew she'd come. She couldn't help herself. I got to the cabin Friday night, spent the evening setting up. Not cameras. I'm not that guy. But I wanted the space right. Clean. Ready. Terry had offered to come with me. I'd said no. This was something I needed to do alone. Saturday morning was clear and cold. The lake was like glass. I made coffee, sat on the porch, and waited. They showed up at 12:15. Rebecca's car. She'd taken the Lexus in the separation. I'd kept the truck. Pulled up the gravel drive, Stephen in the passenger seat. They both looked nervous. "Good." "You came," I said when they got out. "Let's just get this over with," Rebecca said. She looked tired, older. The corporate polish was gone, replaced by something harder and more desperate. We went inside. The cabin was exactly as it had always been. Wood paneling, old furniture, the smell of pine and dust and memory. "So," Stephen said, trying for confident and landing somewhere around scared. "You said you'd delete everything." "I did say that," I agreed. I lied. Rebecca's face crumpled. "Mike, please, shut up." I said it quietly, but they both flinched. "You're going to listen now, both of you. You're going to listen to everything I have to say, and then you're going to leave, and you're never going to contact me again." I pulled out my phone, opened the voice memo app, hit play. Their voices filled the cabin. A conversation from 3 months ago, recorded on the tablet they'd thought was just for recipes. Stephen. "When are you going to leave him?" Rebecca. "Soon. I just need to wait for the promotion. I can't afford to split assets right now." Stephen. "You could move in with me. We could make it work." Rebecca. "With what money?" "You're broke, Stephen. Your trust fund barely covers your rent." Stephen. "That's not fair." Rebecca. "It's true. Mike might be boring, but at least he's stable. At least he has a job that actually pays." Stephen. "So you're just using him?" Rebecca. "We're both using him. Don't act like you're better than me." I stopped the recording. They both looked sick. "That's not—" Rebecca started. "It gets better," I said. I played another clip, this one from 6 weeks ago. Stephen. "We should just take out credit in his name. He'll never notice." Rebecca. "That's fraud." Stephen. "So? By the time he figures it out, we'll be gone. What's he going to do, sue us?" Rebecca. "I'll think about it." I stopped the recording again. "You were planning to steal from me, to ruin my credit, to leave me with nothing." "We didn't do it," Stephen said quickly. "We talked about it, but we didn't because you didn't have time," I said, "because I found out first." Rebecca was crying now. Real tears, not the manipulative ones she'd used before. "Mike, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was confused and scared, and I made terrible choices." "You made choices," I agreed. "And now you get to live with them." I pulled out another phone, my old one, the one I'd been using to document everything. "I've already sent copies of these recordings to your parents, Rebecca, to your sister, to Stephen's family, to everyone who matters." "You bastard," Stephen breathed. "I also sent them to the police," I continued, "along with evidence of your little credit fraud scheme. They said it was borderline, probably not enough to prosecute, but enough to flag you both. Good luck getting loans, or credit cards, or jobs that require background checks." Rebecca collapsed into a chair. "You've destroyed us." "No," I said. "You destroyed yourselves. I just made sure everyone knew about it." Stephen lunged at me then. Finally. I'd been waiting for it. He was bigger than me, heavier, but he'd never been in a real fight in his life. I sidestepped, let his momentum carry him past me, stuck out my foot. He went down hard, hit the coffee table, knocked over a lamp. "Stay down," I said. He didn't. He got up, face red, and came at me again. This time I didn't dodge. I stepped in, close, the way Terry had taught me, grabbed his arm, twisted, used his own weight against him. He went down again, harder this time. I said, "Stay down." Rebecca was screaming. "Stop it! Both of you, just stop!" I let Stephen go. He scrambled away, holding his arm, looking at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was. Get out, I said. Both of you. Get out of my cabin. Get out of my life. If I ever see either of you again, I'll make what I've already done look like mercy. They left, stumbling, crying, broken. I sat on the porch and watched their car disappear down the gravel drive. Then I went inside, poured myself a drink, and watched the sun set over the lake. It was beautiful. I thought it was over. I really did. But Clara called me on a Tuesday, 3 weeks after the cabin. We have a problem. What kind of problem? Stephen and Rebecca are planning something. I heard through the grapevine. They're desperate. They think if they can discredit you publicly, they can salvage their reputations. How? There's a charity event this weekend. Rooftop bar downtown. Stephen's family is sponsoring it. He's going to be there, playing the victim. Rebecca, too. They're telling everyone you're abusive, that you threatened them, that they're scared for their lives. I laughed. Couldn't help it. That's their plan? Lie louder? It might work, Clara said. Stephen's family has money. Connections. If they spin this right, you become the bad guy. So what do? We show up. We tell the truth. We end this. The rooftop bar was packed. Charity event for some cause I didn't care about. Full of the same kind of people who'd been at Rebecca's corporate gala. Rich, connected, oblivious. Clara and I arrived fashionably late. She'd brought someone with her, a woman I didn't recognize, tall, blonde, angry-looking. Mike, this is Jessica, Clara said, Stephen's ex-girlfriend. The one from the photos? I asked. The same, Jessica said. Her voice was cold. Clara told me what you're doing. I want in. Why? Because Stephen destroyed my life too, and because I have information you're going to want. We found a quiet corner. Jessica pulled out her phone. Stephen didn't just cheat on me with Rebecca, she said. He's been running a con for years. Fake consulting contracts, inflated invoices, skimming money from his family's charity foundation. I have proof, bank statements, emails, everything. Why didn't you go to the police? Because his family would have buried me. They have lawyers, money, influence. She looked at me. But if it comes out here, tonight, in front of all these people, they can't cover it up. What do you need from me? Nothing. I just wanted you to know that when I burn him down, you're not alone. We found Stephen holding court near the bar, playing the wounded victim. Rebecca was with him, looking small and scared and sympathetic. They'd perfected their act. And he threatened us, Stephen was saying to a group of concerned-looking donors. Followed us to a remote cabin. We barely escaped. That's interesting, I said, stepping into the circle, because I have recordings that tell a different story. Stephen's face went pale. Rebecca grabbed his arm. You're not supposed to be here, she hissed. It's a public event, Clara said, moving to stand beside me. For charity. We're very charitable. Jessica stepped forward. Hi, Stephen. Remember me? Stephen looked like he was going to be sick. Jessica, I didn't know you'd be here. I bet you didn't. She held up her phone. Should we tell everyone about the money you stole from your family's foundation? Or should I just send these documents to the IRS and let them figure it out? The crowd was watching now. Really watching. Phones out, recording. Stephen tried to run. Literally turned and tried to push through the crowd. But Clara had positioned us perfectly. There was nowhere to go. You're insane, Rebecca said, but her voice was shaking. All of you. This is harassment. This is consequences, I said. You wanted to destroy me. You wanted to take everything. But you forgot something. What? I'm not the kind of person who gives up. I pulled out my phone, opened the email I'd prepared. Hit send. I just forwarded every recording, every photo, every piece of evidence to everyone in your contacts, I said. Your friends, your family, your former colleagues, everyone. Rebecca's phone started buzzing, then Stephen's, then the phones of people around us, as the emails forwarded, as the story spread. You can't do this, Stephen said. His voice was high, panicked. You'll ruin us. You ruined yourselves, Clara said. We just made sure everyone knew about it. Jessica smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. The IRS will be very interested in those documents, as will your family's lawyers, as will the charity board. Stephen turned to run again. This time he made it 3 steps before his father, a tall, silver-haired man who looked like an older, angrier version of Stephen, blocked his path. We need to talk, his father said quietly. Now. Stephen looked back at us. At me. His face was a mixture of rage and terror and something that might have been regret. This isn't over, he said. Yes, I said. It is. They left. Stephen dragged away by his father. Rebecca following, crying, ignored by everyone around her. The crowd dispersed, already pulling out phones, spreading the story. Clara, Jessica, and I stood on the rooftop, watching the city lights. "That was satisfying," Jessica said. "It was," Clara agreed. I didn't say anything. Just stood there, feeling the weight of the last few months lift away. "What are you going to do now?" Clara asked. "I don't know," I said. "Maybe nothing, maybe everything. Maybe I'll just fix routers and go to the gym and live my life. Sounds boring. Sounds perfect." We left together, walking out into the city night. Behind us, the party continued, but we were done. Finished. I went home to my apartment. My apartment, not ours, and slept better than I had in years. 3 months later, I heard through Clara that Rebecca had moved back in with her parents, that Stephen's family had cut him off, that he was facing charges for embezzlement, that Jessica had started a nonprofit helping victims of financial abuse. I didn't care, didn't need to know, didn't want revenge anymore because I'd already had it. I changed my number, deleted my social media, started over. Terry asked me once if I regretted it, any of it. "No," I said. "I regret marrying her. I regret wasting years on someone who didn't love me. But destroying them?" I smiled. "That I don't regret at all." "You're a cold son of a bitch," Terry said. "I know." "Good. The world needs more people who don't take shit." I went back to my life, fixed routers, worked out, dated a little, though nothing serious, bought a dog, a rescue mutt named Charlie who didn't care about my past. And sometimes, late at night, I'd think about Rebecca and Stephen, about the look on their faces when everything fell apart, about the justice of it all, and I'd smile. Because in the end, I'd won. Not by being better than them, not by being noble or forgiving or any of the things people say you're supposed to be. I'd won by being ruthless, by being thorough, by being the kind of person who doesn't forget and doesn't forgive and doesn't stop until the job is done. They thought I was simple, predictable, easy to manipulate. They were wrong. And now they'd never make that mistake again. The end. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next story. Write in the comments from which city you are watching.